Welcome back. Too much to do, growing your entrepreneur ambition. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Well, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to feel overwhelmed. I'm still going to talk to you about it. If you are an entrepreneur or not, whatever errands or things you're trying to accomplish, sometimes it could feel like there's too much to do. Someone actually sent this. How am I off schedule in my own business, in my own timeline on a long weekend? Click like if that's something you can relate to. Right now, I have a rare picture of this subscriber. It looks like him. That's me. That's one of the comments I had. So I'm going through a similar process as an entrepreneur. I'm doing this side hustle thing. I got stuff going on. It's a 3-day weekend. I took 2 days off of my full-time job. And now it's Monday night, like quarter after 10 p.m. I'm still recording videos because there's so much to do. And I was just like, man, this is a good video to talk about. So what I'm going to do here is go through a process that I use for myself and my clients to help you and help you understand that the perspective you take can boost your performance or lead to burnout. Here's how you set the right targets for yourself to take confident ownership of your path to freedom and fitness. Welcome. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance, where I build adaptive business leaders through compassionate health coaching. Realistic focus is a core element of the guilt-free framework, and then is also like a central part of the guilt-free process. I'll put that right there. So it's important to have that. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you're like you've been doing it a while, you know what's going on. You probably have a clear vision and you're ambitious. You have something that you are working towards that is like a big picture thing. For me, that is every entrepreneur knows how to lead a healthy, fulfilling life of their dreams. So that's my vision. That's the first thing over there on the left. You can write your vision down in the comments just to share so more people know. Spread that vision. It's good. The thing is, if you are going through this in an inefficient way, if you aren't setting up the right targets with realistic focus, then it's going to lead to some problems like I was talking about, where you feel like you're off schedule. You can't get everything finished. You're not going to get things done that need to get done. And like it's your own project. You're doing this big visionary thing, and then you're feeling bad about not being able to get all the things done. And that's not a great combination for yourself. So the question I have is, why would you set yourself up for failure on these things that you intend to do that are very valuable for you? So instead, what we want to do is set challenging goals. And this is probably what you're doing. You're just going about it in a strange way or an inefficient way, not necessarily strange. Sorry about that. So this is the Yerkes-Dodson law bell curve. It's also known as the stress performance curve. I've talked about this in another video about stress management. But basically, what you're looking at here is on the bottom, the x-axis is arousal, like how stressful something is. And then the y-axis on the side is your performance on that thing. So if something is not very exciting to you, it doesn't stress you out at all, you might not do it. That's how you get procrastination, feeling lazy, feeling like you're not doing anything important, disinterest, or not being interested in your work you're doing, you're disengaged, all that stuff. But if something is more stressful, then that will increase your performance. You will like get into a groove. You'll find a flow state close to the top of this, optimal arousal and optimal performance. However, if you can't manage your stress or your schedule, or you've got too much going on, you find it too challenging, then you're going to slide down that right side of this chart, impaired performance because of strong anxiety. And that also looks like burnout. So that's not what you want on that right side. You have to understand the system, how it works, and then start to select targets and keep the perspective that makes you successful with the level that you want. So I hope that makes sense so far. Leave a comment if you need help. Now, what could happen, what you could do if you really wanted your life to be easy, which if you are an entrepreneur side hustler is probably not the case, you can aim for 100% completion of your goals. All right. You could. That's like a legitimate option. And things would be cool. You just be like, yeah, I did everything I ever wanted to do today. And then at the end of each night, you would feel successful, possibly. But there could be some other challenges with that. For instance, your targets may be too easy. Then you'll start to have questions, possibly like, I don't know, maybe I need therapy, or maybe we all need a little bit of extra mental health support. But maybe you'll start to have questions about, are you being perfectly efficient? Like maybe that's why you're able to get all these things done in a timeline and idea. Or are you being too lax with your schedule? Should you be doing more? Or are you being a perfectionist who's a little bit scared and you only want to do things if you know with 100% certainty that you can get them done? I'll put a link to a video for that. So these are questions that might come up. If you reach all of your targets constantly and you're not really reaching or stretching, then you might start to wonder if you are performing your best. All right. And if everything was too easy, you might wonder if you can do more. And that's something I wanted to point out where like you're doing this, setting yourself up for failure sometimes because you want to feel like that peak performance. You want to know that you're doing your best for that grand vision and mission and the values that you love. I mean, maybe I'm talking to myself, but I hope I'm talking and connecting with you if you're listening to this right now because this is why we do the things that we do. Okay, so if you go beyond that, however, if you make your goals too hard or impossible to do them all, then you'll feel like you're falling behind. You'll end up saying things like, how am I off schedule in my own business, on my own timeline, on a long weekend? Like, you'll be like, I made everything I could do so I could get everything done. I set everything up the best I could, and then I'm still like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Right. So, what happens if you do that too often? If your goals are always too hard, difficult, or you just make it so you literally can't, like your expectations are too high, or if you're at your full time job or some other one, someone else is your boss and they're like, tell you do all this stuff. You're like, I can't do all this. Then that's how you get burnout. That's exactly what burnout is. Over time, you can't keep up. Your performance starts to suffer. You get secondary symptoms, probably weight gain, your eating habits spiral, you can't sleep, all kinds of problems, right? Like your physical activity plummets, or you get overactive, like you can have all kinds of chest pains, not good. So, risk of burnout is what happens when you set too many goals that are too high and you can't keep up with them. I have a burnout assessment test linked below so you can assess that. You don't have to be super burnt out or stressed to take that. That's just a free assessment I have so you can see where you stand and potentially some things that will help you improve your stress levels. So instead of making all your goals too easy or making them too difficult, what we want to do is just get right in that sweet spot. Just right, Goldilocks. So usually we want to aim for a target completion of 80% of your SMART goals. So 1 in 5 of those, you want to be like, well, I don't know, I didn't quite make it, but I was striving mightily for that. And I think that's a big part of a fulfilling life, in my opinion, is to strive mightily for the things that you believe in. I said it like it's a quote, something I always say, but that's just how I feel about having a big vision. So when you target 80%, it's very imperative for you to keep perspective on your progress, right? So it's not just like because you're setting yourself up kind of for failure or to not quite make it. So when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you are understanding that like this is part of the game that you are setting up for yourself. You're making up your own rules, so you might as well make the rules in a way that you understand what you're doing with them, right? Don't make yourself feel like a failure or that you're not good enough for striving to lead your vision for the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. You can take a screenshot of that. That's a big message. Don't make yourself feel bad for pushing yourself to the highest of your performance and not always making it to that level, right? Like you don't want to cruise through the whole season, winning every game by like 70 points in D2 when you can get promoted or something. Little sports analogy for you. So keep it in perspective, track your progress relative to where you started and in intervals of success, not just to the target you invented. That's how you keep perspective with your big ambitious goals. So some people, there's a book I think on a lot of people I follow on social media call it the gap and the gain. And so when you're focusing on the target and you come up a little short, you realize like, oh, I was like that far away, and that's the gap. But you don't look back at like the entire beginning that you had to get that far. Where you started is the gain, and the distance in where you are and where you started is the gain, and then the like little distance you have left over is the gap. So keep it in perspective. That's a big key to having ambitious goals. And one way to do that, that sounds a lot like gratitude, also celebrating ongoing success. So being thankful for how far you've come, the impact that you've made, the connections you made, the conversation you had, the influences that you've been able to have, the content that you're able to share with people, all the things you're able to achieve so far with whatever you're doing, whether it's an entrepreneurial ambition, or if you are, you know, you had a long to-do list, all the errands, right? All those things, you can be like, look, we got a lot done, and there were just some more things I was hoping to do. Right. And so that is also in this. When I say keep practicing, it's part of the guilt-free process, understanding that we are celebrating ongoing success so we can keep striving for the things that we want to do. If you are burning out or not trying hard enough, then you aren't really in practice. You're just kind of floating through and you're not leading the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. You're just kind of, eh, right. So that's no good. So keep practicing, celebrate ongoing success. And what we want to do with that is adapt. Remembering to keep your goals in perspective, assess whether your goals are realistic so you can continue to make useful, encouraging goals. All right. And so that is the execute and adapt on this right side where you are practicing, you're doing the things, and you're like, okay, what feedback did I get from that? Did I come up short? Was that a good target? Was it realistic? Is it putting me on track for the healthy, fulfilling life of my dreams? Am I enjoying it? Is it fulfilling? Is it rewarding? Was it too hard? Do I need more help? Like all these things are adaptations when you ask the right questions, and that can keep you on track so you don't burn out and end up saying, like, why am I so tired? Or why can't I keep up with all the things I intend to do? So that is a quick overview. If you have too much to do, this is how you cultivate your ambitions to make sure that they still work for you. They don't make you feel like a failure. They don't make you feel like you're not good enough. All right. So that's today's message. It's hard to coach yourself. I understand this. I even know all this stuff. I created a whole framework and a business about this, but sometimes I forget and I end up feeling a little discouraged. So I understand that what I have is a guilt-free game plan. It's the most compassionate way to break your weight loss and business goals into actions you can take today. I've got a small community that is growing, and I also have one-on-one coaching available, and I also have my own coach. So when I work through these processes, it helps keep me motivated so I can keep going with the things that I know are going to help you take confident ownership of your path to freedom and fitness. So there's a link below for that if you want to book a free call just to learn more about how it works, or subscribe to the channel. Click like if you like this video. And next, you can watch this video if you're overwhelmed with a never-ending to-do list and so many responsibilities. If planning makes you feel stressed, stop doing your to-do list wrong. Check out this video, how to organize your to-do list for less stress without making this one key mistake. I'll put that right here. So that's today's message. Let me know what you think. If this helps you with ambition, perspective, taking confident ownership of the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. As always, keep practicing. Peace.